Well, this week's Fantasy Premier League segment is going to focus on Manchester United, specifically on Ralf Rangnick. The reason being, we need to try and predict what he is going to do and how that may affect Manchester United assets you may or may not yet own in your team. So, first of all, I did a little bit of digging. Ralf Rangnick's last managerial job, where he actually picked the team, was in the Bundesliga in 2018-19 with RB Leipzig. In that season, he used 6 different formations. Let's take a look at those formations and how many times he used each of them. Basically, what was his preference when he selected a team? Well, 4-4-2. On 14 occasions out of 34 that season, he went with the basic 4-4-2. On 9 occasions, he went with a 4-3-1-2. The common denominator here, the same number of defenders and the same number of attackers. Then the third most common one was a 3-5-2. No longer 4 at the back, but still 2 up front. Now, as far as the other 3 are concerned, there's a 4-3-3 used 3 times, a 5-3-2, and a 3-4-1-2. So what does that tell us? Well, it tells us what he did then. It doesn't tell us what he's going to do now. But the suggestion being, with 6 different formations used in one season, that he's not going to stick to the 4-2-3-1 that Manchester United have been playing for quite some time. He'll use that, I've got no doubt. He may start with that, because you've got to think that he picked the team, even though Michael Carrick was the man on the touchline against Arsenal on Thursday. So the bottom line is, that's the research. Who will this benefit? Now, in Fantasy Premier League, you want to try and be ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. This is difficult with Ralf Rangnick because we don't really know what to expect. I think with someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, I know he might have a slight knock and could be a doubt for this weekend, but you pretty much know what you're going to get with Cristiano Ronaldo. Back among the goals in midweek, and I think he's probably the safest bet for a Manchester United player. He's also probably one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive player. But hopefully on this occasion, you get what you pay for. So what about the other players in the team? Well, if Ralf Rangnick is going to play with 2 up front, we saw that with 14 times in a 4-4-2, 9 times in a 4-3-1-2, 6 times in a 3-5-2. That's 29 out of 34 games at Leipzig he played with 2 up front. That could change things. That could bring players into the reckoning that we maybe don't think about right now. If Edinson Cavani is fit, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, assuming all are fit, this may be a change of formation. The one big caveat for me is what's going to happen to Bruno Fernandes. It looks like he's off penalty-taking duties with Ronaldo scoring against Arsenal. But if he does play a 4-4-2, where does Bruno play? Because if you've got 2 central midfielders, is Bruno one of the attackers? Is he one of those central midfielders? Where does he play him? So I think, although we're trying to get ahead of the game in Fantasy Premier League, with this, there has to be an element of wait and see. That brings me on to the fixtures that Manchester United have got coming up. And of all the teams in the Premier League, they've probably got the best fixture run going. Let's take a look at them. Starting this weekend against Crystal Palace. But just look at the games coming on after that. Palace at home, Norwich away, Brentford away, Brighton at home, Newcastle away. Those 5 games are fantastic from a Fantasy Premier League perspective. I mentioned the attacking sense with Bruno, with Cristiano Ronaldo, with Edinson Cavani, Martial, Rashford, even Lingard. I don't know what to do as far as defence is concerned in the short term, because we've seen that Diego Dalot has come in at right back. That was because Wan-Bissaka was injured. Alex Telles seems to be the preferred choice right now over Luke Shaw. What we're looking for in Fantasy Premier League is stick-ons, nailed-on players. Right now, in defence, the only ones you've probably really got are David De Gea in goal and Harry Maguire. He may bring back Shaw. Does Wan-Bissaka get his position back after injury? Because Diego Dalot has certainly offered a little bit more going forward. So these are all imponderables. These are all wait and see. Those next 5 fixtures, plus the remaining ones, are all decent. And there's a decent chance as well of some clean sheets in them. So If you want a David De Gea or a Harry Maguire, or you want to take a chance and maybe go for Alex Telles, Telles certainly is low owned. And what about the midfielders? Is someone like Donny van de Beek, with Ralf Rangnick liking to press, could he be coming back in, having been out in the wilderness? There's a lot of questions still to be answered for Manchester United. There's a lot of wait and sees. Right now, if you fancy an attacker, I'd keep it simple. I'd just go Cristiano Ronaldo and then keep tabs on how they get on against Palace this weekend, then when they go to Norwich and when they go to Brentford, and see if you can pick up players. Though the other one I want to mention as well, especially, is Jadon Sancho, because we've seen recently he seems to finally have found a little bit of form. He's not highly owned right now. There could end up being a bandwagon player. It might be Bruno if he goes off. It might be Cristiano if he goes off. What you want to do with these players is get ahead of the game. If you want Jadon Sancho, now I think would be a good time to get him. Ronaldo, for me, would be the most nailed on. And at the back, Harry Maguire and David De Gea. As for the rest of them, for Manchester United under Ralf Rangnick, I think it's a wait and see.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.